And welcome back to the bunker, everyone. Before we get into the episode tonight, I have a few announcements. I just jumped on my application just before hitting record, and I saw that our listens just surpassed 4,000, which is pretty cool considering before the last episode I just did with Peter. The last episode was a long time ago. So haven't been posting regular videos or any audio, but even though I haven't been producing more content, the listeners were still coming and coming. And, we're super grateful for that. So thanks for joining us, everybody who's recently jumped on board. And with lots of past episodes you can check out everything from ghosts to aliens to cryptids to, pretty much the full gambit. I'm going to start releasing subscriber-only content pretty soon. And that's going to be shorter clips. They're going to be maybe like 30 minutes or less. And it's going to be for subscribers only. And it's going to be sort of behind the scenes, sort of candid interviews and clips of investigations, stuff like that. So all the stuff that we do when we investigate and so forth is going to be actually utilized in the podcast. I mean, I have loads and loads of past investigations as well, and hundreds of EVPs stuff to go back into the vault and actually share. And I'll be sharing that extra content for subscribers only. Details will be to follow. I'll be also setting up. I'm setting it up right now. Actually, a new website, which is on WordPress. Address is going to be, I believe, probably the bunkerparanormalpodcast.com. That's what it looks like it's going to be. So look out for that. Again, updates will follow. Actually, Beth and I are going to be on a new program on Riverside FM that's coming soon. It's called Terra Signals, and it's a new show. It's going to be put out by our friend Justin Bamforth of Normal Paranormal. And we're going to be on that show. He's going to be launching that really, really soon. So look out for that. Again, more details will be to follow. So we're going to be talking about West Hill Manor.
Yep.
So I have Beth here with me. First time in a while. We're going to be jumping in and talking about West Hill, some of our investigations, and just what's been sort of going on around that location. But before that, I mean, what do you want to share with the listeners? Like, what have you been up to since last year? Really, last summer, I think, is when we were last on with Christina, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
You've been doing some tea leaf reading classes.
Oh yeah.
Recently, that have been.
I thought you meant us. Sorry.
Pretty big hit. Yeah, we haven't been investigating that many places. Yeah, but.
Yeah, I have do some stuff like that, psychic development classes and things like that, and tea leaf reading classes, and I did a candle magic class last night, and all these places are in New Jersey, so they're local.
That's right. How did the candle magic go?
It went good.
That's pretty cool. We did that on that retreat as
well. When I did that at Willow Candles, my friends in Atco, New Jersey, so it's cool to do it at a place that sells candles.
Yeah, that's perfect for that location. Yeah. So essentially, what it is sort of like a little miniature, sort of like a ritual or ceremony where you like kind of put intention into a candle, right? And then you put designs on it that reflect sort of what intention you want to achieve or something like that, right?
Well, yeah, it's all for your highest good. It's just for yourself, not for anybody else. Yeah. And you can decorate it, and you draw on it with a toothpick, and then set your intention into the candle, and then you decorate it, and then you charge the candle with a meditation, and then they get to take it home and burn it for. You can either burn 9 hours or for 9 days, because 9 is the number of completion.
Interesting. Well, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, and the perfect sort of special class for a place that sells candles.
Right.
But so, without further ado, let's jump into West Hill Manor. So I'm not sure how much we shared on the podcast about how we came to start investigating that location and stuff. Beth and I gave a lecture to a local Masonic lodge. They were interested in hearing about the paranormal, and so we went and gave a lecture about just what we do and stuff and how we investigate and some of our experiences. And Joe, who's one of the caretakers at West Hill, approached us afterwards and mentioned this space to us and said he'd like us to come investigate. We went by and checked it out, investigated it, got some evidence, and long story short, we're now sort of, Beth really mainly is handling the scheduling and the vetting of paranormal groups that come in and actually investigate. They can rent the space and investigate from basically 7 a.m. until, 2 a.m. is kind of the limit. Most people call it quits around 11 or 12, but there was like a few hardcore groups.
6 p.m. to
6 p.m. Sorry.
Say 7 a.m. That's a long investigation.
6 p.m. I meant to say 7 p.m. Sorry. Yes, 6 p.m. until basically 2 a.m. at the most. But yeah, and so we just kind of we have equipment there that if people need it, they can use it. But most people bring their own, and yeah, so we have been investigating, and it's funny trying to explain this to Joe and Judy that they kept wanting to pay us, and they kept wanting to take us out to dinner, which they eventually did. And it was interesting just trying to explain to them look, we don't want payment. This, just getting access to this building is payment in itself, right?
Well, yeah, all the money, it's $30 per person, and it all goes back into the West Hill Manor. We don't get a dime of that money. It goes up to the upkeep of that house. Yeah,
exactly. We were trying to I think they're getting it now, but it took us a while to explain to them that no, just look, our payment is just getting access to the site and getting the chance to investigate it over and over again, which is that's our payment right there. But so I have a clip here of Judy giving a history, a quick history lecture to one of the latest groups that came in and investigated. And so I'll just play that now, and then we can comment.
The house, they're going to explain that to you. We're trying to think we would know it by now. It's like in 50s. He's so good. They're so good at it. I just like
I said, I'll let her do it.
Okay, so you guys ready? She'll tell you a little bit about the house? Okay. So some people like to know and some people don't. So,
well, we won't tell you anything other than just the history of the house. And maybe whatever you learn or hear or see, maybe it'll make sense to you. The house was built between 1797 and 1799. The Emlins had it built. The Emlins had just gotten married and moved to Philly, and the yellow fever broke out in Philadelphia. So they figured now was the time to come and build their country home. So they bought land there used to be another large manor house across the street, down the street here. It was called Oxmead. They bought land from her uncle Cox, and they started building here, and they moved in 1799. All went well until 1813, and Susanna discovered a breast cancer. Well, she discovered a lump in her left breast, and tried everything that she could. They knew in those days, but her brother-in-law, there's a soda bottle up there, and that's Dr. Physick. He at the time was head of surgery at the University of Pennsylvania. And he finally talked her into actually having surgery done. She was not happy. It was the last resort. No anesthesia, no antibiotics, which meant basically either you died of shock or loss of blood, or you died of infection a little bit later. So it was not something you wanted to jump right into, but he finally convinced her. And on the second floor in her bedroom, they actually did the surgery. Lasted about 20 minutes. They took out a tumor and weighed about 1 pound. But she laid there on the table for about an hour before she could get up from the table to the bed. And there she stayed for 14 hours before she felt, she said everything pain, every part of her body was in pain. And she finally was able to ease up enough that she was finally able to fall asleep. But she did survive. She lived until 1819 when the cancer came back, and she finally said enough is enough, and she just came home and let it run its course. The house then, in 1851, it was purchased by a woman named Eliza Gurney.
Yeah, so I just want to stop it there for a second because she mentions this woman who had breast cancer surgery in the sorry, I meant to mute that. That had breast cancer surgery in the home, in the upstairs bedroom, because we have an interesting EVP later that when you're addressing her directly and seem to answer. So yeah, so we'll get to that a little bit later.
She had married Joseph Gurney from England, very influential people. And their big thing was to do social reform throughout Europe. So she joined her husband and they went to King and Queen of France, of Russia, of Persia, trying to reform schools, workhouses, and child labor, and also slavery, just trying to stop it through the islands. So when he passed away, she came back here and purchased the house here, but she continued her social work. And in 1862, she went down to see President Lincoln with 3 other people from Burlington. And these were all Quakers up to this point. Matter of fact, they've been Quakers almost until 1900s. And she was conflicted, like all Quakers. We don't believe in slavery, but we don't believe in war. So she went down and talked to President Lincoln and prayed with him and told him that however God led him to handle this civil war, that the Quakers would stand behind him. And she prayed with them, and they said when she finally left, he was in tears. He was so moved. So maybe a year later or so, she received a letter from him saying, will you please correspond with me? And they did. They corresponded back and forth. And some of the wording that she used in her letters, like a trial by fire, he used when he talked to Congress, so he was influenced by her. And when he was killed, they found her first letter still in his jacket pocket. Said it was worn and treasured up, is what they called it in the newspaper. So she passed away here in 1881, and she's buried down in Burlington in the cemetery down there for the Friends. So since that point, it just went through the family for a bit, and then finally, the last family who lived here was the Kellers. Mr. Keller, Dr. Keller, was a doctor, was head of something. I'm not sure what the department was, but at the hospital, he was the head there. So they had the money also to make sure the house was kept well. They brought it back from that gingerbready that Eliza had done because it was Victorian. He brought it back to the colonial, the way it should be. Most of the architecture in the house is original. You'll notice some of the windows are wavy, they're original. So we were very lucky to get a historic register on the architecture of the house and to be in such good shape for so many years. It's amazing. But everyone who lived here loved it and took good care of it. It's owned, like I said, by the Masonic Charity Foundation. We have an agreement with them. We take care of the house as much as we possibly can. You know, any big work, maintenance, they'll take care of. We try to do everything else we can here. So I hope we've done this anything.
I think so.
I think so, yeah. So you're welcome to explore. We have a cellar, 3 stories. The attic, the ladder broke, someone going up the ladder.
You can get up there, it's dirty.
You can get up there,
really
it's
dirty up
dirty.
there. It is a stand-up attic, see. I've been up there several times, but the ladder is kind of rickety going up
Yeah, you
there.
just have
So
to-
hard you can't get up.
Yeah, I mean, you can try and pick your head, you can probably reach right out.
They get picked up and they'll get...
Yeah, so just be careful, but you're welcome to look in all the rooms.
Is the furniture original?
No,
No.
No,
No.
when we took it over, it was basically empty.
I was, okay.
And we picked up furniture from estate sales
Okay.
and
Yeah.
big
Great, yeah,
stores
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of donations. People have been
Yeah,
very generous.
a lot of
It
donations.
worked out, yeah, it's original, it does.
Yeah, it would be wonderful.
Most
to
of the
have
stuff is
something.
original to the style.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it looks like, yeah.
the dining room
yeah.
furniture, that's the kind of furniture that would have been there in the 1700s when the house was built. So we tried to be that. All the colors that you see on the walls are authentic to the time period. And when we restored it, we did it in 2 time periods. One colonial for the people, the Emlins who built the house, and the other was Victorian for Eliza Gurney when she lived here. So there's 2 rooms over to the side that are done in Victorian, and 1 bedroom upstairs. The rest of the house is all done colonial.
I have a question, was Masonics here while Susan and the family were here? Was after it?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was all afterwards. Yeah.
When, yeah, that's what I forgot to say, or started to tell you and forgot. The Kellers, they were the last private owners of the house.
Okay.
And Mr. Keller passed away, and Mrs. Keller stayed here, and she sold the property and the house to the Masonic Charity Foundation on the condition that she could live here until she passed.
Okay.
So that was about 92, I think she passed around 92 and 93, and then the men took over.
Yeah, I was reading online to see if there was a kind of a, I guess, correlation between the Quakers and the Masonics, and I really find it.
Okay, I think we end it right there. We got the gist of the history. That was pretty cool. I'm glad I recorded that because we've been saying, we want to give the history lecture to people, but then we don't know it ourselves by heart because normally we don't want to know that kind of thing. We investigate. We don't want to know anything ahead of time. So
Yeah.
So it's good that I finally got that recorded, and so that's a good little background on the history. And so so basically we got access to the home almost whenever we wanted to. We just started investigating it on Friday and Saturday nights. What did we really experience anything right off the bat, or was it? I think it was pretty quiet initially, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so.
It seemed really quiet at first, and it seems like some groups come in and it's very active. Some groups come in and it's very, very dead. No pun intended. But for us, it seems like the more time we spend there, the more things we're hearing and sensing and experiencing and recording.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seems to be, anyway. I have some EVPs here that I'm going to share. So here we go. So this first EVP is we were walking around doing a walk through the house just before there was another group that was on their way there, and we were just walking through, making sure lights were on and that kind of stuff, and I heard this breath really loudly. I was listening to my recorder in real time, and it was loud to me. I mean, you can hear it on here. It seems a little faint on replay, but it was at the time it was very loud. So here we go.
Just check. People run upstairs before they get here. So I'm just gonna check first.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, so you can hear it.
Like,
Well, it sounds like somebody like crying or
coughing.
coughing maybe. Yeah, like it's like weird rapid breathing. So here's another good example of a very, very common EVP that's caught just that's usually like a whisper or it's humming or something like that. Yeah. So now this is when you and I and Marty were there, and we were the only ones in the house at the time. So this female voice was right in the room. It's right next to us, but it wasn't one of us. And
No.
yeah. So I'll play the whole thing. You can hear you actually start reacting to it.
Oh yeah. What's going on? Turn.
Yeah, you're like, I just heard something.
Yeah, and that beeping is the equipment.
Yeah, that was our little what is that thing called? It's like a little triangle motion sensor.
Yeah.
But that was going off. It was near this chair, and then when you pick up this little hum right next to us there. So, did it come from the chair? I don't know. It came out of nowhere. This one I like. This is again when we're at the house, just kind of opening up, getting ready for one of the teams coming in, and you start addressing. They just talking out loud to the spirits of the house, and actually there's another answer, and at this point, it's only Beth and myself in the house. There's no other people in the house at all. There's no one on the property. We're the only ones out there, and it's far from the road. There's no way this is from outside or something. So this is pretty cool.
Somebody here to visit? Here to visit?
Here to visit. You hear like a click,
Like a hi.
and then a hi. It was like a noise, knock.
And it's almost like you. Did you hear this at the time? Because it sounds like you almost think you answer.
I don't remember. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't remember. I was a long time.
That was from.
A few months ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, that was like January, February range.
Yeah, I don't know. We've been there a lot lately.
Yeah. This is a pretty cool, and this is one that's pretty unique to West Hill. I don't think we've caught anything else like this there. But this is again while myself, you, and Marty were there, the only ones there, and we can hear somewhere in the hallway or in the stairwell, somewhere near us, there's like a door latch. It sounds like it clicks, like someone trying to open a door, like one of those old latches. It's pretty loud. Even Marty commented it sounded like a gate or so. So here we go.
Somebody here to visit?
Whoops. Wrong one. What was that?
That was downstairs. That sounded like a gate or something. Metal or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a door latch.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those old-timey door latches.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next one. Oh, this is again with when the three of us were there.
Mm-hmm.
And you heard it, and I heard it too. It sounded like a sneeze, and you thought initially it was me. But definitely wasn't me.
Is that you?
What?
Did you just go? It's like a sneeze away. It's like shh.
Yeah, definitely sounded like a sneeze.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. And that's, again, one of those common little weird noises that you hear.
Yeah.
So this one that I touched on, I mentioned earlier, is very, very, very low in playback. But I'll crank it up as much as I possibly can so see if we can see how well it translates. So just be aware, this was pretty low, but it's definitely there. And it was you and myself upstairs in Susanna's bedroom, where she was basically laying, to recover from this surgery that she performed, which was the first ever breast cancer surgery
In the United States, and it was right in New Jersey at West Hill Manor.
West Hill Manor in Burlington, yeah, and that's actually registered in like the
Yeah.
medical museum or whatever. It's a legitimate registered fact. And so we were in that room and we were just asking questions. And Beth, having spent 20 years in the medical field, just has a sense of just how to talk to people that are having health issues or that are recovering or that are having health problems or whatever, just with so many years of experience in that field. So she was really tapping into to Susanna at this point, and if you even remember, I remember you like shivering and like kind of popping up for a second because you felt like somebody had dripped an ice cube. You know, someone had held an ice cube on the back of your neck, and the cold water had run down your spine, and you just like kind of popped up really quick.
Right.
And it's something we thought about, and that may have been a way they may have been giving her ice cubes or whatever, just to kind of.
Well, water they would have been giving her just to keep her hydrated.
Yeah, like I wonder if they were at one point giving her ice just to kind of help calm her down and.
Yeah, if she had a fever.
Maybe help with inflammation or something. Yeah, fever. I'm sure she had a fever. Recovering from that, my God. But so anyway, so we're having this conversation, and you're sensing this, and you're feeling her there, and so you start speaking directly to Susanna, and it sounds like we got a response from. I mean, there's a response from a female. It seems like an intelligent response. So here we go.
I feel like they took great care of you here, after your surgery and before and during.
Sorry, that was my fault.
I feel like they took great care of you here, after your surgery and before and during. Would you say that was true? You hear yes?
Yeah, again,
It sounds like yes they did, or yes, you can hear yes, but you can tell she's healing.
And so,
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, in the playback, it's really hard to hear, but man, when we initially played that back, straight from the recorder, it's much louder, but that's still, you can still hear it there. And it's just interesting that you were feeling this person, you were sensing this woman, you were feeling physical sensations that's kind of made sense in context, and then then we get this direct answer from a female in that space where she would have been laying and probably in a very weakened condition, and so that weak, like labored voice kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yes, that's all the EPs we have to share for West Hill. I do have more, but we'll save more for a later episode. And we're actually, we still go there. I haven't been as of late too much, but for a while there. I mean, every weekend in January, last January, we were there every weekend.
Yeah, we have some coming up, but we had a little break, which is fine because we've been going every weekend.
Yeah, which is great. We're not complaining. It's just when we were booked every weekend, it was rough. Just going there until 2 and midnight, but yeah. So yeah, I wanted to give you all an update on sort of where we've been and what we've been doing, and wanted to share a little bit of evidence from West Hill Manor in Burlington, New Jersey. Again, I'll put links on the episode page in case anyone is listening and they're local, they want to actually book West Hill for an investigation. Like Beth mentioned earlier, it's $30 per person, and you get access to the whole building and even the outside, which is the grounds are huge. It's acres and acres and acres from 6 p.m. until midnight, 1, 2, whenever you.
Yeah, it's a nice place to investigate. It has heat and electric. It has air conditioning. It has bathrooms. So
yeah, that's a huge.
It's a nice place to investigate.
Yeah, the bathrooms and heat and air conditioning is a huge bonus, because a lot of these places you investigate, missing floors and walls, and there aren't working bathrooms and stuff like that. So that's a challenge sometimes. But yeah, this place is gorgeous. It's been well maintained. It was, after the Masonic Lodge purchased it and sort of took control of it, they used it as an office, and so the Grand Master's office was upstairs, actually in the operation prep room where Susanna would have had her prep for her surgery. Became the Grand Master's office, and like you heard Joe and Judy mention in that little clip, that they went out to estate sales and have had donations given to them and stuff. So they've refurnished the place and really made it look. And even they painted the walls the right colors, and really did a couple of the different rooms. in the federal style and the colonial style, and there's a gigantic hearth in the kitchen that has all with the big iron like arm goes over the fire that you used to cook on and stuff, and so a lot of the original woodwork and doors are still in there, original flooring, and but it's very well maintained, so it's a beautiful place. So we just wanted to bring you up to speed. Is there anything that you want to plug that you have coming up? Any classes or anything like that?
Well, we have the West Hill Manor event June 24th.
That's right, June 24th.
Looking for vendors. It's a psychic healing kind of event, but we're looking for all crafters and vendors. And it's June 24th, 11 to 5, and then at about 7 p.m. we're doing a paranormal investigation. So that's on Eventbrite. You can look that up and purchase tickets, and all that money goes to West Hill Manor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for that reminder. And I'll put links for the Eventbrite page and stuff like that in the episode page as well. Anything else you have coming up? I know you got your psychic development classes that are always going on.
I'm trying to think. We're starting a grief counseling at the center, Life and Balance, for people who have lost loved ones, to just gather together at the center, Life and Balance on Main Street in Medford, 45 South Main Street, and what else do we have
That's
coming
right.
up?
Thanks for reminding me, because I knew there was an event coming up. I knew I was trying to remember that.
Well,
that was it.
And then May, we're going to be at Penhurst. May 19th, 20th, and 21st, we're supposed to help out at Penhurst.
Oh, yeah, there's the Penhurst Paracon is coming back. And, yeah, we may be helping out with that, help running tours or whatever. So that's coming up.
I will be at Selma Mansion doing readings on May 13th.
Nice. And that's in Norristown, Pennsylvania, by the way.
Norristown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's another cool old historic home that they do a lot of events and psychic events and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I think that's everything I wanted to cover. I wanted to just ask everybody, and if you listen to the podcast and you like it, just take an extra minute to give us a rating. I think most people are listening on Apple Podcasts, so if you'd just give us a 5-star rating, we really appreciate it. That'll help move us up in the ratings and the rankings, and allow more people to hear us. You may have heard the last episode, my interview with Peter Corey. There's going to be a follow-up to the Peter Corey saga. It's going to be episode 3 of that story, and I'm going to be speaking with Bill Chalker and Dr. Horace Drew that did the DNA testing on the hair. So that's hoping going to be happening soon. I'm not sure when. There's no date set yet, but that is up and coming. So look out for that. And like I said, look out for the website, and look out for the subscriber only material, which will be coming soon. It'll be the bunker inner chambers. We'll have some candid clips, interviews. You're going to kind of go backstage through in some of our investigations and stuff like that. So look out for that. That'll be pretty cool. So anyway, thanks everyone for joining us, and we will see you.
Thank you.
Next time.
Have a good evening.
In the bunker.